A dimly lit hallway with flickering lights. The sound of distant whispers and a clock ticking loudly echoes. The hum of an old ventilation system creates an unsettling undertone. The camera slowly pans down an empty hallway, shadows stretching unnaturally long. There's something unsettling about a school after hours. The laughter and chaos of the day fade into an eerie silence, leaving only the echoes of the past. But when you're the one working the late shift, you start to notice things that don't belong. Aaron, a young janitor, enters the frame, pushing a mop bucket. His tired eyes scan the empty corridors. The school walls are lined with faded pictures of past students, their eyes seeming to follow him. The floors creak under his weight, every step feeling heavier than the last. He stops in front of a bulletin board. A missing person poster, faded and torn, is pinned in the corner. His breath catches. It's a picture of his sister, Emily, missing for over a decade. Aaron, muttering, "Just another night. Clean up, lock up, go home." He looks away, forcing himself to focus on his task, but a shadow flickers behind him in the reflection of the glass trophy case. Aaron had been working at Westwood High for 6 months. A quiet job, good pay, and minimal human interaction, perfect for someone who preferred solitude. But his past haunted him more than he liked to admit. After the tragic loss of his younger sister, he had grown used to silence. Used to the feeling of being watched. But tonight, the silence would whisper back. Aaron had heard the rumors from other staff. Strange happenings at night. Objects moving, distant whispers, the sound of footsteps following people when no one was there. But he always dismissed them. Until now. Aaron hears the distant sound of a chair scraping across the floor. He stops, listens, then shrugs it off, continuing to mop. A shadow moves in the background, slipping into a classroom. He doesn't see it. A week earlier, another janitor, Mr. Reynolds, had quit abruptly. "I'm not working another night in this damn place," he had said. "There's something in here. Watching. Waiting." It started small. The usual sounds a building makes when it settles. Or so he thought. Aaron enters a classroom to find a single desk moved to the center of the room. His brow furrows as a gust of cold air brushes against his skin. He looks around, his breath visible in the sudden chill. "Aaron," to himself, "I swear these desks were lined up before." He moves it back, but as he turns to leave, the chair suddenly slides a few inches on its own. The sound of nails scraping wood fills the room. Aaron's breathing quickens. He had seen something similar before. A cleaner once told him about finding chairs stacked in impossible formations in the cafeteria. But Aaron never believed in ghosts. Until now. Aaron's radio crackles to life, static filling the silence. Then, a child's voice whispers, "Help me." He stiffens, his heart pounding. The voice, it sounded so familiar. Just like Emily's before she disappeared years ago. The lights flicker. The shadows on the walls shift, stretching toward him. His mop bucket tips over on its own, sending soapy water spilling across the floor. A small handprint appears in the liquid, forming right before his eyes. Aaron grips the radio, his knuckles white. He looks down the empty hallway, his breath ragged. A rational man would have left. But curiosity has a way of pulling us deeper into the unknown. Or perhaps, for Aaron, it was unfinished business. He walks toward the source of the voice, stopping in front of an old wooden door labeled storage, restricted access. The paint is chipped, revealing deep scratches along the frame. Aaron remembers the rumors from the school staff. They spoke in hushed voices about room 306, a storage room that had been sealed shut after a tragedy years ago. A little girl had gone missing inside. No body was ever found. A whisper brushes past his ear. "Don't go in." He reaches for the handle. It's locked. Just as he exhales, about to turn away, bang! Something slams against the door from the other side. A breathy giggle follows. Aaron, stumbling back, what the hell was that? The school intercom system screeches to life. A garbled voice utters, "Turn back." Aaron steadies his breath and refuses to run. He turns back to the door. His sister's voice echoes in his head. Aaron whispers, "If it's you. I'm here. Show me." The air thickens. The lights overhead flicker violently, casting eerie, shifting shadows. The door creaks open slightly, revealing darkness within. Aaron steps forward cautiously. His flashlight flickers, but as the beam cuts through the dark, he sees something, Emily's small frame, standing in the corner. Motionless. Aaron, whispering, voice cracking, "Emily?" The girl lifts her head slowly. Hollow, sunken eyes stare back at him. Then, she takes a step forward. Her foot doesn't make a sound. The shadows in the room ripple, and suddenly, she's inches from his face. Her breath is cold. "Emily," distorted whisper, "why? Didn't you save me?" Aaron stumbles back, heart pounding. Tears prick his eyes. Aaron, shaking his head, "I didn't know. I was just a kid." The room trembles. The shadows lunge toward him, but Aaron does something unexpected. He reaches out, grabbing Emily's cold hand. A long silence. The darkness recoils slightly. Emily's eyes soften. Aaron pulls her into a tight embrace. The cold surrounding them begins to fade. The school stops shaking. The whispers grow faint. The intercom crackles again, but this time, only static. Aaron exhales, releasing her. When he looks down, she's gone. The next morning, Aaron stands outside the school, looking up at its windows. The air feels lighter, as if something has finally moved on. He takes out his radio and turns it on. Silence. For the first time in years, he smiles, just a little. Then, he walks away, the sun rising behind him. Some hauntings aren't about ghosts, but the past we refuse to face.